Right now, 3 senators, a federal agency, and a state attorney general are all investigating the same 4 inches of your phone screen. The checkout button. Not the app, not the company, that one screen. The one you scroll past in 6 seconds without reading. Because here's what's been happening on it. You order 8 things. Cart says $40. Checkout says $96. You didn't add anything. The food didn't get more expensive. Somewhere in that 6-second scroll, 60% of your bill just appeared, wearing a name you've never heard before. Groceries, concert tickets, rideshare. You felt this everywhere, and you've never once gotten an honest answer for why. Today, you get one, and it's worse than they're greedy.
But before we get to that company, you need to hear this first, because it changes how you read everything after it. You're not bad at math. You're not imagining it. A woman in Atlanta described it perfectly to a local news crew. 8 items, and the total looked like she'd bought 30. That's not a one-off. That's the design working exactly as intended. It was never your fault for not seeing it coming. The whole point of a fee that shows up on the last screen, after you've already picked your items, already imagined dinner, already committed, is that you're too invested to back out over $4 extra, then another 4, then another. Lawmakers in Washington sent a letter about this exact pattern. Delivery apps burying charges, lumping fees together, hiding the real total until the very last second. Their words, not ours. Consumers are being taken advantage of. So no, you didn't miss something obvious. The screen was built so you would. Here's their name for it. Here's the timeline. And the order of events is the whole story. New York City passed a law. Simple premise. If you deliver someone's groceries, you get paid at least $21 an hour for it. Not a tip, not a gamble, an actual wage floor, the same one delivery drivers already had. The law took effect on a Monday. By Tuesday, a new fee appeared on checkout screens across the city. Fixed cost, $6, give or take. Its name? The Regulatory Response Fee. Read that name again, not delivery worker fee, not wage adjustment, regulatory response. It's built to sound like something the government is charging you, not something the company chose to charge you instead of absorbing the cost themselves. And here's the detail that matters. The company didn't hide this one. They said it outright. They blamed the law, called it misguided, called it burdensome, and told reporters this fee exists because the city made them do it. That's not honesty. That's a redirect wearing a badge. And it's not a one-time move. Restaurant delivery companies did the same thing years earlier, the moment cities required fairer pay for their drivers. Same playbook, different receipt. This is a business model choice, run through a costume department first. Not the wage, something else. And this is the part that actually stings if you let it. A city council member who helped pass that wage law put it plainly. The company can afford to pay this. They chose not to. They pass the cost to you, and then they let you believe the government did it to you. That's the wound, not the $6. The $6 is nothing. It's that a corporation looked at, we have to pay someone a living wage now, and decided the correct response wasn't to absorb it, or even just raise prices honestly. It was to build a fee that looks like law, so your anger would land on a city council instead of a shareholder meeting. They didn't just take your money. They rented your outrage and pointed it at someone else. That's what I mean by the badge fee. It's not a tax. It's not a regulation. It's a charge dressed up in the language of one. Because a fee that sounds official doesn't get questioned the way a fee that sounds greedy does. And here's why this isn't staying in one city. It isn't staying in one industry either. Senators are already asking the FTC to step in nationally. The FTC already settled with one of these companies for $60 million over a different hidden fee trick, advertising free delivery while quietly charging for it anyway. Another company paid $100 million for shorting their own drivers on pay. This has become the industry's default move. Get caught, pay a fine that's smaller than the profit, keep the fee. So when regulation finally does close one loophole, watch what happens. The badge fee won't disappear. It'll get a new name, a new justification. Something else that sounds official enough that you won't question it at checkout, because who has the energy to interrogate every line item on a grocery order? The fee shows up after wins for you, not losses, because the company's default response to any cost that eats their margin is to hand that cost to whoever's least likely to fight back at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday ordering dinner. You. That's the machine. Not one villain, not one company. A pattern that survives every fine, because the fine is just another cost of doing business. And guess who that cost eventually lands on too? So here's what actually matters, out of everything you just heard. You were right to feel ripped off. That feeling wasn't oversensitive, it was accurate. Understanding the mechanism doesn't mean you have to make peace with it. You're allowed to still be annoyed every single time you see it. And I'll say the honest part out loud. Nothing in this video lowers your bill next time you order. Knowing the name of the trick doesn't remove the trick. The fee will probably still be there on your next order, wearing whatever name it's wearing by then. But here's what changes. Next time you're at checkout and a fee shows up with a name that sounds official, a name with regulatory or compliance or service adjustment in it, you'll know to ask one question before you get mad at the wrong target. Who actually chose this number? And who are they hoping you blame instead? That's it. That's the whole trick. It's not a tax. It's a company's decision wearing a government's outfit. So next time the receipt grows a new line you don't recognize, don't Google the law. Ask who benefits from you thinking it's the law.